I'm going to talk about all the things that went wrong when I was making my video and my ancillary text and doing my products in terms of digital technology and what went wrong there. I guess it's normal for things to go wrong when it comes to technology because it's not really that reliable. It's, you know, either on the internet or it just doesn't do what you want it to sometimes. And I have seen a lot of that over the last few months. So the first thing that I've got on my list is my memory stick, which I lost a lot, and this was just me, just not really looking after it because it's so small. It's so easy to lose it. I think it's here. This is my memory stick. It's absolutely tiny. It's like the tiniest memory stick I've ever seen, and it's got a paper clip on it because I actually put a little green grabber that I attached to my keys, but it came off and I lost it. And I've left it in about 10 computers, and every time I've left it, I've like ran to the computer room and hoped it was still going to be there, and I've just lost it a lot. And it's not the technology's fault, it's my fault, but because it's so small, that's why that happens. So that's one of my main issues. The second thing is YouTube. YouTube is amazing for sharing videos. I'm really grateful for it, but the upload time sometimes, especially when I uploaded my third and fourth draft of my music video, it just took ages. I think I was sat at the computer for over an hour just watching the little bar tick like that, and it just took ages. And I think I would maybe hope that in the future YouTube will be able to upload things faster because it really did take a long time. And I know the file was quite a big file because it was a Final Cut file, but it was ridiculous. And also with YouTube, you've only got a certain time amount, so unless you're like some kind of YouTube blogger, you're only allowed 15 minutes. And a lot of the videos that I took for my evaluation and for planning and research and stuff were over 15 minutes long, and I had to do them in 2 parts or 3 parts or 4 parts because I couldn't put them all into one video and upload it in one go. So that was kind of annoying. Um, One time my Photoshop file just didn't save. I just saved it like normal. I think it was when I was in the middle of making my digipack and I was editing one of the photos and I'd pretty much finished it, and I saved it and I went to my lesson, and then when I came back after my lesson it just wasn't there. I couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't where I saved it to. It wasn't on my memory stick. It just wasn't anywhere, and I don't know why this was to this day, but I think that's something that annoyed me. Um, Sometimes they just do things like this. Sometimes you just can't rely on them to do what you think they're gonna do, and you have to back them up somewhere. So maybe I should have put it. I put it on my student log on. Maybe I should have put it on my memory stick as well, or made sure it's saved and before I quit the file or something. But that annoyed me. That was a stressful time. Um, Storyboard that I didn't like it. Just in general, it wasn't a program that I really felt comfortable using. I didn't like the way that I had to drag things over again and again, and you couldn't. There was a lot of restrictions to things like facial expression and purrs and stuff. So I don't know. I just didn't really get along with it, and it was really time consuming. I must have spent like half of January on storyboard that, just making storyboards, and I it just I feel like there must be an easier way to do that. And I did look, but everything you had to pay for. I mean, if you'd have paid for storyboard that, it would have obviously been a lot easier because you could do all the little storyboards at the same time and upload them all at once. But because I didn't want to pay, I had to keep screenshotting it every time, and it just got really time consuming and annoying. And I probably wouldn't use it again. I would probably find another way of doing a storyboard. Um, the next thing is that a lot of my images or videos were really big files, like too big to upload to Blogger or too big to upload to Google Slides or something like that. So I had to use a little bit of software that I've got on my Mac just to convert all of my files to smaller megabytes so that I could upload them. And this just got really annoying because every time I got to a point where I was just hoping it was going to upload straight away, and it was like, your file is too big. And I was like, why is it too big? Probably just because of the quality that I was trying to take shots in and videos in. But obviously, then if I'm going to convert them in order to be able to put them on software, I had to reduce the quality, which was annoying. The another thing is that when I wrote all my audience feedback questions out for my focus group, I wrote about 40 questions, 42 questions, I think, and I had them on a Word document, and I saved it, and I just lost it. It just went, and I came to do my focus group, and I opened up my Word document, and when I clicked on recents and then clicked on the file name, it just said um your file has either been deleted or cannot be found. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? And I think it's just things like that where you really have to. You don't expect it though, because technology, you do rely on it, and because 90% of the time it works, you don't expect it to do things like that. So I didn't even think to put it on my memory stick or anything. I just saved it on my Mac to my documents as audience video questions, and it just went, and I had to write them all out again, and it was really annoying because I'd laid them out exactly how I wanted to ask them and stuff. So that was quite annoying. SlideShare this year just, I think it hated me. I really do, because everything I put on, it said this file could not be found, or it would upload landscape photos portrait or portrait photos landscape, and every time I tried to upload a presentation, it just would like, we can't do it, it's too big or something, and it would just never work. And that's why I reverted to using Google Slides, which was something I found this year that I hadn't found last year, and it was really good. It worked really well, and I could just upload like presentations onto there, and it would go into a file that I could embed onto my blog, or just post photos on my presentations, and it was really easy to embed it, and it also looks a lot nicer than SlideShare. But I mean, I really liked using SlideShare last year, so I was quite annoyed that it wasn't working for me this year. So that is probably something I might never do again, to be honest. I might just always use Google Slides because I found it a lot more easier. My last complaint for stuff that went wrong while making my coursework is the edit suites, because with the edit suites at college, you can only use one, and mine always seemed to be taken by somebody. I would literally run from my lesson to the edit suite, and there would be somebody on it, and it was awful, because you just get all ready and in the mood to start doing some editing, and somebody's on it, and they're editing as well, so you can't really ask them to leave. Like, everybody needs to edit. So I had to do, because of this reason, I'd started doing my first draft on Final Cut, but because I could never get on my computer at all, like it was jam packed in the Max week coming up to mock exam week, I did my first draft on iMovie, and I think I could have made a lot of a better first draft, and overall my experience might have been better with my video if I would have used Final Cut from the beginning. So I would have probably just tried to stick at Final Cut. That's something I would have changed. But I mean, my first draft was okay, and I got to do the rest of it on Final Cut, so that's fine. But it was just really annoying, the fact that you could only use one computer to edit. And I think, I mean, a lot of people found that frustrating. I had a lot of people saying, why is he on my edit suite again? And it was just because, everybody picked a computer, and sometimes people overlapped. But I mean, overall, I think digital technology has massively helped and influenced my coursework, and I definitely couldn't have done it without it. Like, digital technology is what my coursework is. It's media, and I think these are just little nags, but nothing major. Like, I'm really grateful for everything, and especially for things like Photoshop and Final Cut, and a lot of the hardware and a lot of the software that I used, because I just couldn't have done it without it. And these are just things that along the way trip me up, but overall they've really helped, and I think they've helped me to create a really good product.